Hello, welcome to Sports Today. Well, another 8-wicket defeat for India in this T20I series. Now it's been back and forth, hasn't it? England won the first one, India bounced back strongly in the second game. Now England took this one thanks to Josh Butler. What an effort that was to trump Virat Kohli's masterclass. But had it not been for Virat Kohli's masterclass, this game wouldn't have even reached this far. But discuss more on this. We've got Boria Mojumdar. But before we go to Boria, here's a quick look at why Irfan Pathan wants you to download the House app.
क्या आप भी किसी अपने सपने मेरे तुम्हारे टीम 11 पे टीम बना रहे हो और बच्चों के साथ खेल रहे हो? हमारे साथ खेलोगे? हाउस पे खेलो लेजेंड्स के साथ, हमें हराओ और जीतो डबल कैश. Log on to houseit.com and win real cash.
Right. So then England have taken a 2-1 series lead, and we discussed this on Sports Today, how important this match was in the context of the series, of 5-match series. But Boria, yes, a heavy defeat for India, but before we get into the nitty-gritties, it's important to also, I just want to throw two questions to you at the same time. It's obviously, this is a lot about trying out combinations. Obviously, once Jadeja is back, it's going to be a six-member bowling attack. That's going to be one factor. But India were 24 for 3 in the power play. Had it not been for the captain, this game wouldn't have even got this far, right? It was, talk us to that innings. It has to be one of the greatest T20 innings we've seen in recent times. We're not going to be talking about it because India lost, but this is what a mind-boggling innings that was.
It was an incredible knock. Incredible knock. I mean, the way he paced it, the way he went about it, terrific knock. I mean, he ran to the ends, played some fantastic shots. So yes, I mean, but you know what, when you do not win, obviously an innings of that quality also will not get its due. But having said that, 73 and today the 77 that he got, Virat Kohli completely sort of back in form. This is tremendous news for India. And yes, you rightly said, India's trying out a lot of combinations. I mean, otherwise, Ishan Kishan starting out with a beautiful 50, you don't see a person getting changed. India did that because they obviously feel that Rahul and Rohit is a combination they want to try out for the World Cup. And they're very right in trying out, because this is the one series where they have to try out every possible combination that they can. So yes, 20 for 3, and mostly, you know, games are done there. I mean, from there on, even the Virat Kohli masterclass wasn't able to save. You have to say India is not picking wickets. So maybe there is a case for Deepak Chahar to play ahead of Shardul Thakur game 4. I am actually advocating that. Yuzvendra Chahal has leaked too many for my liking on a wicket which was turning. There was turn on offer to go for 41 runs of 4 overs wasn't the best. So maybe India would want to give Akshar Patel another go for Yuzi Chahal, but definitely Deepak Chahar for Shardul Thakur, because you need early wickets. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar was getting the ball to move. Deepak Chahar does get the ball to move and move out, gets the ball to outswing, has this knack of picking up wickets. So I would definitely want to see Deepak Chahar in game 4.
Right. No, we'll come back to the combinations, the factors, and whether Ishan Kishan, he would have felt a little unlucky coming down from his opening role after that stunning debut. But I got some numbers for you, Boria. I'm sure you would have had them too. Virat he's in the first 15 overs, he was going at 28 of 29 balls, a strike rate less than 100. In the last 5 overs, when he teed off, he scored 49 runs in 17 balls. And this was not the first time he did that. He did that about 4 or 5 years ago in 2016 versus the West Indies. So you've seen Virat Kohli throughout his career, his transformation as a young novice to the legend that he is today, the best batsman in the world. How does he do it time and time again? Because obviously he was going through a bit of a lean patch, wasn't he? 3 ducks in 5 innings before the second T20I, but then he got going with Ishan Kishan in the second game, and then here. How does this mental framework work, and what is so different that you see in him in the last 3 or 4 years in T20 internationals?
Confidence. He has supreme confidence in his own ability. I mean, the moment he gets himself in, he backs himself to do anything. I mean, he's one of those supernatural performers, except that catch. He got everything right. I mean, if you see the way he fields, he gives his 100%, the way he bats, he's got incredible confidence in his own ability. I mean, he keeps telling you that he tries to visualize situations where he carries India over the line or sets up a total. So unbelievable confidence in his own ability, and that reflects in the way he performs. So and that was the kind of innings. And you're absolutely right. I mean, 17 ball 49, incredible. And some of the shots, oh man, oh boy, did you see the way he waited for the slower ball and then sort of pulled it? Oh, it was such a brilliant shot to watch. He's an extraordinarily good batsman, but importantly, he's got to win it for the team. So toss, poor fielding, poor bowling on a wicket which was aiding turn, catches dropped. Virat himself, Yuzvendra Chahal, multiple catches dropped. That is a problem for this Indian side. You cannot drop so many. And obviously, the most important factor is 20 for 3. And despite a Virat Kohli masterclass, you could not get to 175. Had you gotten to 175, which is what I had tweeted, then this would have been a different ball game, despite the Joss Butler heroics.
Right. No, and there's obviously experiments on one side, trying out your combination, but now with the series on the line, you think maybe someone like Akshar Patel, you mentioned Deepak Chahar instead of in place of Shardul Thakur, you reckon someone like Akshar Patel could make his way into the team to not only bolster the batting down the order, but also to give the captain an extra bowling option. Yuzvendra Chahal, he finished with 41 or 4 overs. After 2, he had gone for 25, and therein the captain is running out of options. He has only got 5 specialist bowlers. So, reckon changes for the 4th and the penultimate T20.
I will actually make 3 changes. I mean, KL Rahul is short on confidence. I mean, he's a terrific player. One of my favorite players. But he's clearly lacking confidence. There was a big gap between bat and pad. It happens to the best. It happens to the absolute best. And you've got to sort of give him a little bit of time. You've got to give him a little bit of time to come back into form. So in a decider, because the 4th game is a decider. I mean, you lose that, you lose the series. In a decider, I will go with Ishan Kishan and Rohit Sharma at the top. I will get Surya Kumar Yadav back. I will get Virat Kohli at number 3. In this form, Virat Kohli cannot not bat as many number of balls. Virat at 3, Pant at 4, Surya at 5, or Shreyas at 5, Surya at 6, Hardik at 7. Or depending on where you want Hardik, if you want to push him up, you push him up. So that will be my call in the batting order. So KL will have to make way. Ishan will open with Rohit, and Surya comes back. In the bowling department, Washington plays. As far as I'm concerned, Washington plays. Yuzvendra Chahal makes way for Akshar Patel, because left arm spin on a wicket where there was turn could be very, very beneficial for India. So Akshar Patel, Deepak Chahar plays for Shardul Thakur and Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. That's how I will go about it for that final game. I will make these important changes.
Right. And I hope the Indian team will also be listening in, right? Because Boria, once he tweeted that about Washington Sundar, and 10 minutes later, Washington strikes. He bowled beautifully, and that's what we were discussing, Boria and myself, why Washington was held back in the power play. That's where he generally bowls. But it was, he didn't have too many runs at the end to really bowl with. But Boria, this has been a remarkable series in that sense, right? 3 matches, very one-sided. The top 2 teams in the T20I format facing off. Nothing was supposed to be easy, but this is also a lot about mind game, right? It's also a lot about your mind games and your mindset. But like we've discussed so many times on Sports Today, this Indian team does have that mental bench strength to bounce back and pave the way despite all combinations. So it's going to be a very interesting interesting few days to watch out for going into the series decider.
Absolutely. I mean, anyone who thinks that India will not come back hard doesn't know this Indian team. I mean, they will come back very hard. The toss is important. I mean, in each of the 3 games, we have seen teams winning the toss, winning the games, bowling second, rather bowling first. So that is another very important factor, because there is due 1. And, obviously at the start, if you see the way the bowlers bowled, it helps. I mean, also it is about confidence. I mean, the moment you win the toss, here you take a call that you will bowl first because of the due, because of all the factors. Mentally, you are in a better shape. But India has to master this. India has to master the art of sort of putting up a good total, 175, 180, because in the World Cup, you cannot control the toss. So if you lose tosses here, I don't mind. I mean, I want India to sort of try and put up competitive scores, be competitive. It's a top side, England, an absolutely top side. I mean, look at that batting order, you will know how good they are. But I will still say this Indian side is as good And I am actually backing them to make it 2-2. I've said to you the other day that it's a 3-2 series. I still hold on to the fact that it's a 3-2 series. I'm backing India to make it 2-all, and thereafter we will see what happens in the last one.
No, absolutely. And to also put Boria's comments in perspective, this is a phenomenal Indian team. They've now equaled Australia's record for most wins against India in the shortest format of the game. The 9 wins, right? Before the series, it was 7-7. It was neck and neck between these two teams. Always been very competitive. But Boria, closing comments on this Indian performance. Yes, they are without Ravindra Jadeja. They are without Jasprit Bumrah. They are obviously going to come back. But on the bowling front, obviously, you know what happened with Varun Chakravarti and Tina Trajan. But on the bowling front, when you look at this as a bowling group and bowling bench strength, are you a little tad bit worried with the options who are firing up? Bhuvneshwar Kumar has been very impressive after a slow start in the first game. But maybe a little around the bowling unit that you'll be a little concerned, especially given Chahal's form, the fact that he's being figured out now.
See, frankly, I think only one bowler, maybe two, will play from this in the World Cup. I mean, Jasprit Bumrah will play number 1, Mohammad Shami will play number 2, and Ravindra Jadeja will play number 3. So you are actually talking about 3 bowlers from here who will play the World Cup. I mean, Yuzvendra Chahal, if he sort of loses steam a little bit, it will have to be Yuzvendra Chahal who sits out, and Ravindra Jadeja comes in straight away. I mean, and Shardul Thakur gives way, where Mohammad Shami comes in, and Jasprit Bumrah will come play. So this is not India's primary bowling attack. I mean, maybe 3 or 4 bowlers will get changed from this lineup. So obviously you are trying everyone out. Shami and Bumrah and Jadeja are 3 of your bowlers who are primary bowlers. So if you get the 3 of them in, by the way, this is England's best team. Not one player is missing. So if you actually come to think of it, this is India's best batting lineup, or they are experimenting there as well, because Ishan Kishan, Rohit Sharma comes back, KL Rahul, this sort of gave Rahul an opportunity despite Ishan's. So India is experimenting a bit with the batting lineup, but this is not our best bowling attack by a distance, I mean, for the World Cup. So I am not very worried. If you actually ask me, are you worried about this Indian team? No, I'm not. This is the opportunity to do experiments, to test your strength, to try and set totals up as well. So all said and done, again, I'm saying we've got to be patient. This is a good Indian side. I think it's 2-2 on day 4.
Some super points there. That is what we do on Sports Today, right? We dissect the game and we analyze that and get into the depth for you. So, and when India, like Boria said, this is India experimenting, and this is not even India's frontline bowling attack. When they had the full strength team, they were on a winning streak. They've won 5 successive series before this. So there were some harsh comments on social media after this defeat. Stay patient. This Indian team knows how to come back. But Boria, before we go, you're a true all-rounder, aren't you? How are you enjoying Babu Moshai? The first season end, and we saw you. I was a little tad bit jealous when you went around with that all the Bengali mishti in Kolkata on some of your promos. It was fascinating to watch.
See, I'm a quintessential Bengali. I mean, wearing a dhuti and going around my city, meeting people from across fields. I think the television debates have degenerated. Primetime television debates have degenerated into slander. Certain television anchors make a fool of themselves by not allowing people to speak. It is about expressing opinion, being respectful towards each other. It is about respect. Let people speak. Let voices be heard. That's what I think television should be all about. And this is one show where we will get all voices from across the city, and everyone will be respectful towards each other. There's no political slander, controversy, or anything like that. Bengali Adda, Golpo, storytelling, debate, relevant issues, no holding back, but at the same time, very civil and very constructive. That was the whole idea of Babu Moshai. And to be honest, I'm enjoying myself.
Right. No, and it did look like you enjoyed yourself along with all the guests, and it's a fascinating first episode. So obviously, you can all watch it on India Today over the next couple of weeks at 7:30 p.m. Monday to Friday.
7:30 p.m. Yeah, 7:30.
Right. And apart from that, of course, you can catch Boria Majumdar live every day for his analysis and news and exclusives at 5 and I'll be back with you in the morning at 10. But there'll be plenty more. Of course, Deep Das Gupta will join us sometime in the evening tomorrow. And we will look ahead into the penultimate T20I as well and see what his thoughts were on this game tonight. But thank you so much, Boria, as usual, for joining us with your clear views. And thank you for joining the viewers for joining us on Sports Today for this quick review of the third game. Do subscribe to Sports Today. Do download the House app and have a good evening.